That's so cute with the little sign language at the end. That's so
I know.
cute.
I know.
Morning, y'all.
Welcome and learn some. Hi, Jen, Shauna. I was going to say misdemeanor, but you're here.
Oh, so what, you
Vegan.
just don't
Hello,
say
vegan
morning to me?
realist.
I see. Ginger Locks. Cindy,
Oh,
Miss
Ginger
B,
Locks.
Jen, Life is Jim, Shauna, Vegan Realist,
Hi,
oh my
Ginger
gosh, Vegan
Locks.
Realist. Look, she's dyslexic this
Hearts, hearts,
morning.
hearts.
How is everybody this morning?
I'm fine. I'm wonderful. I'm great.
It's Friday.
It's Friday.
Woo-hoo.
Yes, the weekend's here. Actually, my husband's going bear hunting this weekend. So
I want to go.
I know it's hunting season. He's out and about. So
Does he go like with a buddy so that,
he goes with our son-in-law.
Okay, so like if a bear, like gets him or something, he's got somebody to dial 911 or something.
He's also got a weapon.
Well, there's that. But I mean, just in case it jams.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yes.
Buddy
Yeah,
system.
he goes with my son-in-law.
Because that would scare. I just thought about that. I
I
thought
said,
all
"What
the
are you
times I
going to
know that
do
he's
with a
gone
bear?"
hunting.
I asked him. I said, "What are you going to do with a bear?" Because I am not eating bear meat.
Make a coat.
And he said, "Yeah, that's what he said, Mom. I'll make a coat."
They had a picture of a bear and I don't know where it was. It looked like a big brown bear, but I don't think it was a grizzly because they're not that big. But they're big, but they're not this big. There was a woman sitting there holding his paw, and it was, a vet crew that was going out and, tagging them and checking them for their health and whatever.
Right.
And so this bear's passed out on the ground, but she's holding up his paw. I swear that paw was as wide as her chest. I mean, it was
I know some
huge.
of them are big. Well, he puts his GoPro out into the woods, and some of the bears that are licking that camera are pretty goddamn big.
They lick the camera?
Oh, yeah.
Have they ever tried to destroy it?
Not yet. Not yet. But they jump up on the tree and they lick 2 times the bear's been licking that camera. I don't know if
it would freak me
it
out.
smells like food or like that kind of freaks me out because you have to set it up where he sets it up. Is there a bear watching you? Is he stalking you? But
yeah, because he's carrying the food.
Well, he doesn't carry food when he's hunting.
Oh, okay.
I don't think he has any food with him because his daughter doesn't live far from where they hunt. So they go out in the woods, they hunt. They don't take food though. So,
yeah.
So Soapbox is here. So here you go. Go ahead.
Soapbox. Should I change my name? Soapbox. So here's the thing. Y'all know I preach a minute, right? Okay, it's what I do because I'm just am passionate about some things, and I think some people are too, maybe in a different direction than me, but it's okay. We're still passionate, right? So yesterday I went into a little bit of a rabbit hole because I wasn't feeling good, and I was just flipping through stuff to look at, and I found the press conference from the legal team for President Trump. Now, before anybody logs off and runs away screaming and crying, just hear me out. Y'all know a couple of weeks ago, before election time or whatever, one of the main things that I told everybody was, it's our country. Every citizen in this country, forget about Washington, D.C., pretend like it doesn't exist for just a minute. This is our country. And I take it as a responsibility to make sure that my local government, my state government, my federal government is doing what they need to do for me. They work for me. I don't work for them. They get it twisted. They think I work for them and that you do too. And I think we've gotten to a point in our country where we've gotten really complacent, which is a nice word for lazy. Just saying. Where we think that, oh, it's okay, the government will take care of that. Well, we've gotten to a point where they're taking care of things so much that we've let it get out of control. It's like that preteen kid that you didn't spat their hand every once in a while when they did something wrong. So they're not sure who's the boss. And now they're a preteen and they're stealing your car. And you're looking up and going, what the hell happened? So you got to reel it back in. And I think we're at a point right now, especially right now, where we need to reel it in. There have been people across the board for the last 50 years that have been sounding alarms that nobody's been listening to, not the general public, and surely not our elected officials. I I've been sitting around for the last couple of weeks wondering where evidence was, what was going on. I'm hearing that Biden is president-elect. I'm hearing that Trump needs to concede, that they need to start having these transition meetings. And I know enough to know that none of that, all of it's bullshit, first of all and foremost. I know that all of my life growing up, that you have an election, that you count the votes, you certify the votes, you give them to the Electoral College, and the Electoral College puts in however many they have for that state for one individual because they won that state. That is when, in fact, you have a president-elect. Okay? Not when the media says it, but when the Electoral College says it. That's legal. That's constitutional. It's binding. So let's start there. We in the past have had questions about elections. And we have taken time out, 37 days the last time, to make sure that the votes were counted correctly. I don't care who's running. It could be Santa Claus and the Grinch, okay? Or Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny. Let's do that because everybody loves both of them. I don't care who's running. I want to make sure that every single vote in this country is counted, and I don't care who you voted for. That's where I stand before I start any of this, okay? And I think that if at any time there is proof put forward that there's shenanigans going on with a vote in this country, it needs to be addressed. And it needs to be addressed from the people of this country. We need to talk about it. We need to fix it, because if you don't, then the problems are only going to get bigger and worse. And we're at bigger and worse right now. So I sat back and I waited, and I've kept my mouth shut until there was proof. And yesterday, 3 attorneys for the Trump team, that's what we'll call it, the Trump team, I think they're my team, because I think that they're sticking up for all of us. Because to them at this point, it's not a matter of who wins. It's we've got to fix this. It is horribly broken. And they brought forth their proof. They basically did an opening statement, which they're not obligated to do. And I don't know that it's not a horrible idea that they even did this, okay? Because this is not how we do law in this country. We get our facts together. We file a claim with the court. We want to go to court. We want to bring our facts forward, and we want to tell you what we're going to prove, and then we're going to prove it, and then we're going to let whoever make a decision, be it a judge or a jury, whatever, okay? That's how we do law. But we have so much media. We have 24-hour coverage. And we have talking heads all day long, okay? And they will tell you whatever they think you need to hear or whatever they're paid to tell you, okay? So now we have media trials. It's court of public opinion. There are going to be people who are just diehard for one candidate to win or the other candidate to win, and they're never going to hear what's actually going on. I'm hoping today that my little crew of people that come here hear what's going on, because this is not about candidates anymore. This is way past that. So Rudy Giuliani, former mayor of New York, former DA, pretty smart guy, is looking at the different states and how they ran their elections and if something went wrong in those elections. And there are numerous problems in all of these states, and they're exactly the same. That is important, because it's not as if each independent governor or Supreme Court of that state or legislator of that state or voting people, ballot people in that state all decided at the same time to do the same things the same way. That's important. But they were all done the same way at the same time. That's important. They all had the same type of machines that they were using. They all shut down at the same time at about 2 o'clock in the morning, anywhere from between 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock in the morning. They stopped counting votes. That's very important. I've never seen it happen in my lifetime. At that time, a whole bunch of mail-in ballots came in. When they were beginning to count those, both Democrat and Republican observers who are required to be there by law were not allowed to watch. They were either put 100 yards or more away. They were taken out of the room altogether. They were put out on the street and not allowed to witness the opening of these ballots and the correctness of these ballots. Okay? That's very important. What you need to know about that is every state, according to the Constitution, federal level, the Constitution says that every single state is independent and they can determine how they want to run their voting. Okay, they get to decide. But the legislators in that state, because it's set up the same way as the federal government, they're called different things sometimes, but they have a House and a Senate, they have a governor, they have a deputy governor or assistant governor or vice governor, whatever. They have a Supreme Court. They have different levels of judges, just like our country does on a federal level. They do on the state level. But according to the Constitution, the legislators, their House and their Senate, if you will, in each state gets to determine how the voting will be done. And it has to be done in every single county, every single district, province, parish, whatever
Hello,
they
hanging with
call,
Mr. J.
whatever they call those different areas, it has to be done exactly the same way. That falls under the Equal Protection Act. According to the Constitution, they have to be identical. Okay. Some of these states, the legislators set up how they wanted it. The governor or whoever above them didn't particularly like it, so they went to a judge independently. The sources are the states as well as affidavits as well as these attorneys. This was on Newsmax. I believe it was, they streamed C-SPAN is where I saw it from, but via Newsmax on a 1 hour and a half live news conference. Okay. So these states, how all has to be done the same way. They went to a judge independently and said, Judge, we don't like what the representatives came up with, so we want you to change it. A couple of areas were that they could receive ballots that were past November 3rd up to, or they could receive them after November 3rd. They had to be postmarked November 3rd. They could go up to the 6th or the 9th, okay, and still count these votes. And also, they didn't have to verify signatures. Can you see a problem with any of that? Just from the get-go. Okay. So, they're not supposed to do that. The legislators decided what they wanted, and they went to a judge and said, no, change their mind. We're going to change this based on your decision. Okay, that's not okay. Secondly, different districts did it different ways. According to some states, if you can amend your vote, if your signature is not there, or you didn't check a ballot box, or they had some question about it, they can literally call you in, have you come in and change your voting. Hey, Ben, you can change how you voted. Okay, but in other counties, you couldn't. So that violates that equal protection. Okay, it has to be done the same way so that groups of people can go in and check it. It's all done the same way. We're done. The count's good. We can certify it and give it to the Electoral College. Okay, so that wasn't done. Another thing was, in one state in particular, you don't
Morning,
get,
Pittsburgh girl.
Hey, Pittsburgh girl. And Sherry, hey, Sherry B. You don't get to, they are very, very particular about Wisconsin mail-in votes. It's a privilege. You have to apply for it. Okay. You have to send in proof of who you are, picture ID, and your signature, and they send you your ballot, and then you mail it in. In a lot of these states, there was just mass mailings. Some families got up to 4 ballots that they could send in. At that point, they have no picture ID of you. They don't know who you are. You could sign John Smith, Mary Smith, George Smith, and mail them in. Do you see a problem with that? Huge problem. We were warned about this by President Carter and Secretary of State Baker years ago, decades ago, that this was not the way to do it. There is way too much chance for manipulation, for fraud, for cheating. Just don't do it. So they were sounding the alarm. Democrats, okay, way back in the day, saying don't do this. It was done. And it was done on a level unprecedented. Okay. And I'll talk about that in a minute. Okay. So that state got huge amounts of mail-in votes. How did they get them? Don't know. Okay. Another thing was that they have signed affidavits. Now, keep in mind, an affidavit, you are swearing, you're giving your sworn under oath testimony in written form or video that what you are saying is absolutely true under penalty of perjury, which means you go to jail and or pay a fine if they find out you're lying. And these are coming from private citizens that are coming in and saying, this happened, what do I need to do? And they are willingly sitting down and writing out affidavits, being sworn in and signing under penalty of perjury that they were told by supervisors to change the dates when they received these mail-in ballots from November 4th, 5th, 6th, whenever they got them in, to the 3rd, the 2nd, or the 1st, so that they ensured that they got counted. That's not okay. They were told to not ask for picture IDs and not to verify signatures. In some voting places, they witnessed voters being coached on who to vote for at the voting booth itself. And some satellite places, people would show up to vote. They would look on the register. They would provide their proof, that they are who they are. And they would say, oh, you already voted. No, I didn't. I'm here to vote. No, you mailed one in. And they would not let them vote. Okay. That they had already sent in an absentee ballot. They said that if they got some in that didn't have signatures, just to put someone's name on there, John Smith, Mary Smith, George Smith, that they were taught to do this at the voting stations when they would receive mail-in votes or absentee votes that were not signed. Instead of discarding them, which should have been done, that they went ahead and put somebody's name down, just anybody. That Justice Alito, actually from the Supreme Court of the United States, federal Supreme Court, said to set aside all ballots that came in November 3rd or after. They absolutely refused to do it. They kept counting them. Even after the Supreme Court said, no, stop, put them to the side. Just don't count them. Don't throw them away. Don't destroy them. Just put them to the side. They kept counting them. And all of this, as I said, it's not just rumor or hearsay. There are signed affidavits by actual citizens, people who just work regular jobs like me and you, who offered to work at a polling station. They're Democrats and they're Republicans. This is not a party issue, okay? These are people that have worked jobs that their jobs are being threatened. Their lives are being threatened. These people are being doxxed. The attorneys are being doxxed. They're being threatened, okay? So that's that part of it. This has happened in all of these individual states, all at the same time. That is very important, because do you think that all of these places, think how many counties are in your state, okay? That all these counties all at the same time decided to do the same thing all at the same time, just on a whim? No, that's not how any of this works. Okay, so we're sitting there at 2:00 in the morning. Everybody stops counting the machines. The machines stop. Why? What happened? Okay, so we have these machines in all of these states that are in question, and then some. There are 30 states that use this machine and the software that goes with it. They're called Dominican. The software is called, I can't remember, I wrote it down. Hold on. Smartmatic is the name of the software. One name. These machines have also had their names changed and their software name changed because, well, you'll see. These machines and the software that go with them were designed, my hand to Jesus, no lie, all affidavits, keep that in mind, by Hugo Chavez. If you don't know who Hugo Chavez is, he is the most corrupt, filthy, terroristic piece of work that is over Venezuela. Venezuela absolutely, unequivocally is not a friend of the United States. Okay? They don't like us. They would love nothing better than to run this country. And what better way to do that than to get their way in our elections? I'm just going to put it out there. It is what it is. Doesn't matter if it's Democrat or Republican. What if there's a dirty Republican that's running?
She said, don't forget the software glitch. The auto sent all Trump votes over to Biden.
Oh, I'm getting there. I'm getting there, Sherry. Okay, so this was designed by Hugo Chavez. His main guy that worked these machines, that sold them to different countries like Argentina and Russia. Okay. This guy watched them design these machines and the software that went with them to specifically manipulate votes. And they can be manipulated in several different ways, numerous ways. You can have them take a vote for candidate A and flip it to candidate B straight out. You can have candidate A get, for every one vote, it counts 0.75. And for candidate B, it counts one vote as 1.25. So it looks a little less shady. It's harder to get caught that way, right? You can have it so that it specifically ignores candidates and only votes for other candidates. Okay. So there's a lot of ways. They have shown, and they have proof that a child can hack into this from a cell phone. That's how unsecure these are. Okay. No, Scarlett. Oh, absolutely not. The people of Venezuela, absolutely not. It is the leadership in that country. And their government is horrible, absolutely horrible. And they're horrible to their own citizens. God love the Venezuelans. No, don't get that wrong. Okay, so Hugo comes up with this. He sells it to different countries. It's been in our country. There are 3 Democratic Congresswomen, who in 2006 came forward and reported these machines to the FBI and said, you have no idea what you're dealing with. And they were ignored on a wide scale. They loud and strong. One of them was Klobuchar. One was, I can never remember her name. Pocahontas. I don't want to say that, but that's what I call her. Maloney and, oh, what's her name? Y'all remind me. The other one. Anyway, very outspoken women who are not shy in Congress. They are Democrat, and they've been signaling the alarm about these machines since 2006. Okay. And nothing was done. Nothing's been done. Okay. So at 2:00 in the morning on election night, guess what happens? The counting stops. The machines stop. Why? And they have absolute proof that the algorithm that was set on these machines to flip from Trump to Biden went haywire. And they shut them down. And in the next 2 to 4 hours, what you see is hundreds of thousands. Yes, Elizabeth Warren. Thank you, Shauna. Hundreds of thousands of mail-in votes appear via trucks all of a sudden. Hundreds of thousands. Okay. So you've got some Democrats and Republicans required by law to observe them opening these mail-in ballots. They're kept sometimes up to 100 feet away. Now, I don't know, and this was a perfect example, so I'm going to borrow it. If anybody's seen the movie My Cousin Vinny, when he goes all the way to the back, he takes a tape measure and has the witness hold it. He goes all the way to the back of the courtroom and he holds up 2 fingers and she says there's 3. Okay, that's kind of where we're at, only it was further away than that. So they can't witness if there are addresses on these things. They said some of them, there were blank envelopes. They could see that there was no writing on them. But if there were writing on them, they couldn't see that it was a appropriate address and it was postmarked. Couldn't see postmarks on them, but they were steady open them. Once you open that mail-in ballot and you discard and you approve and then discard the envelope, that evidence is gone. You can't match it back up to a ballot. So that ballot can literally say Mickey Mouse. It could say Donald Trump. It could say Biden. It could only have the president on there. It could have the whole card filled out. It could not be signed, whatever. There could be a myriad of problems on them. Then they would bring in people and they would start correcting the ballots, which I'll be honest with you, I don't know what all happens with that. They did mention calling people and have them come in and amend their ballot. But how do you know? Because you've thrown the envelope away. But what I do know is the ones that could witness and did see, and some of these were Dominican employees, the people who work with the machines, they thought they had left because the machines were turned down. Some of them were still there, and they are coming forward. They're talking about how they were taught to manipulate the machines, to set algorithms on them so that Trump would get one amount and Biden would get another. They have signed affidavits. They are coming forward. Okay, that is crucial. This isn't just a bunch of lawyers running around saying, well, we think. No, they don't just think. They know. They have it in legal form. And they said they witnessed because they weren't watching them, or they thought they had left, but they were watching, and they said every single one they saw was for Trump. Okay, so let's take this example. You've got 183,000 ballots that show up, and every single one of them are for one candidate. Now, keep in mind, you've got four parties. You've got Libertarian, you've got Green Party, you've got Democrat, you've got Republican. But every single ballot that came off of this truck is for one candidate. Now, I want you to get a quarter, okay? Just a quarter. And I want you to flip it 183,000 times and tell me how many times it lands on heads. Because that's your statistics. If you're just looking at two parties, two candidates, statistically, that is such an improbability, you have no idea. That doesn't happen. Statisticians will tell you there's not even one, not 5, not 10 for any other candidate. Every single ballot is for one candidate. Okay. Also, statistically and on the ground, separate and apart from the machine. Well, no, it's the machines also. Staying with the machines for just a second. Once those machines shut down, okay, you had a rise going up for Trump, and he was in the lead. In every one of these states, he was in the lead by a substantial amount. The machines turn off. And from that point forward, and they have it on graphics, that independent entrepreneurs, statisticians have gotten together and brought this to these lawyers and said, look here, we'll sign an affidavit. This is how we did our math. But this is not, statistically, this is impossible that this happened. You see Trump going up, and then the machines stop, and you see a spike straight up going for Biden and passing Trump. Not a gradual curve, a spike. In other words, someone is sitting there and entering numbers all at the same time. Specific numbers. And there were specific numbers, identical numbers used in different areas. Why? Why that specific number? Because they knew that's what they needed for him to win. Okay? It's fraud. And they were going to use those ballots as their proof that, yeah, see, these people voted for him. But they're not really smart. Most criminals aren't, thank God. Another thing, and this one really blew my mind too. In some counties, in the big ones that matter, like in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, and help me, Carla, what's the other one? In Philly.
Sorry.
I mean, in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, and what's the other place?
Pittsburgh, where I live.
Yeah, Pittsburgh and Philly.
Jesus.
In Pittsburgh and Philly, they noticed sometimes 100% to 350%. 350% over, what's it called? What do they refer to? Hold on, let me look at my notes. Overvoting. It's called overvoting. All right. 100% to 350%. That means that 100%, that means that every voter that registered to vote actually voted. Okay? Let me just tell you that in the world of voting, 80% as a general rule is considered overvoting. Usually you'll get somewhere 60, 65. You rarely see 70%. So 80% of registered voters going in to vote is considered as general rule in the voting realm as overvoting. You're talking 350%. That means you, your children, your children's children, and the children they're thinking about having as embryos went and voted. Okay, so do that math. There's not enough people in the population to have voted that much. Okay. So something is very, very wrong on a lot of different levels. And it's not, in my mind at this point, who screwed over who wins, who loses. It's, my God, how have we gotten to a point where we're playing so loose and fast with something so important and nobody's pissed off? And add on top of that, that we have an entire media army who is lying, hiding, conniving, and we're sitting there listening to it like a bunch of damn robots. It's disgusting. It's to a point where we really seriously need to wake up, because if we don't do something about this now, screw who won it, okay? Find out who's behind this crap, who is setting this up, and who's allowing it to go forward. What are they paying these people? What is going on? Fix it. Or from this point forward, your vote doesn't count. I have fought against that my entire adult life, hearing people say, well, my vote doesn't matter. Guess what? This time it didn't. It straight up didn't. And if you're not angry about this, if you're not challenged to put your phone call into your representative and demand that something be done, if you're not willing to stand vigilant about this one event in this country's history, I don't know what to tell you. I don't. Because we are the only nation that does it like this. We've done it this way our entire existence. People admire us, they envy us because of who we are and what we are and how we do things. We are the great experiment. We don't let it fail now. We don't. I don't. And I pray to God that you don't either. This is not just a couple of lawyers standing up there saying, well, we think, we heard. Guys, they have it documented. They have it signed. They have it witnessed. They are ready to walk into court with it. Not even kidding. They have the evidence, and they brought it forward, their faces on their paperwork in hand. They're not kidding. And this is happening. It's not some big, stupid conspiracy theory. There's no Illuminati. There's no lizard people. I'm saying this is it. So, okay, that's me. Questions, comments, whatevers. Can y'all hear me still? Carla took a nap, I think.
No, I put some stuff in the dryer. I'm listening. I can hear from over there.
And why are you guys shush about the drama? Huh. Okay, Dorky, you're so cute. Stupid. Anyway, you know something? I'm going to say this. I'm going to address that for just a second. Okay. If all y'all got to worry about is freaking YouTube drama between a bunch of sniveling, whining, crying women, I feel sad for you. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
We get off of here. We go live our lives. We talk to one another. We're friends. We have a damn good time. But you know what? This right here that I've talked about for I don't know how long, 30 minutes or so, 35 minutes, it means something to me. It means something to a lot of people in this room. This other crap y'all talking about, this YouTube drama, no. Bye, girl. I'm sorry. I'm more mature than that.
And it won't be addressed. So stop coming in here and stop bringing it in here. Okay. Your comment will be deleted. That's it. Keep going. And
yes, Ms. B, unless you solely want your freedom taken away, and it has been, you know. And yeah, you know, I watched a grown ass woman yesterday, who I love and admire now, who I want to be when I grow up one day. Thank you, Ben. That's sweet. Um, I watched her standing there with her lip quivering while she was talking about this. Not because she was sad and she was going to cry because, whatever, she's, a whiny woman. But y'all women know what I'm talking about. When you get to a point where you're so mad you're going to cry, people need to run. That's where she was yesterday. That's where every one of us need to be, because this is beyond disgusting, beyond it. And I don't know how I'm going to put my foot in there and make my voice be heard. I know my husband is. I know my mother is furious. My sister, her husband. But if it spreads like that, I don't care what your political affiliation is, or if you don't have one, if you're completely independent, this matters. It matters to I don't want to ever look at somebody and have them say to me, well, my vote doesn't matter, because today, I'm telling you, it didn't. Mine didn't. And while I hear President Trump say this election was stolen, I don't hear him saying it was stolen from him. It was stolen from me, from you, your family. That's who it was stolen from, not the candidates. So, and I'm going to say this. I'm going to put that out. Y'all know I'm a Trump supporter. I'm sorry. I'm conservative. But I don't understand for the life of me how a grown-ass man can get on television and say, I want to be the president for all the people. And yet he's not backing the sitting president, who is sounding an alarm from the top of the hill saying something's wrong. He needs to take his jacket off, roll his sleeves up, and get knee deep in this shit with President Trump for the good of the people. Because what if he wins? He's not my president if he's not fighting for this. Does that make sense? They all ought to be. Every member of Congress ought to be taking their jackets off and rolling up their sleeves and saying, oh, bullshit, this stops today. Every one of them. So, just saying, every patriot, everybody who wants to serve in this government, serve me, the people, okay? They need to be lockstep with this man, saying, let's look at this evidence. Let's find out where this goes, unless they're guilty of something. And then they better run. They better move to Venezuela. That's what I know.
Scarlett says, do your research. No, everybody needs to do that.
Do it. Don't believe me. Don't believe me. Go watch that. It's on Newsmax. It's on C-SPAN. You can. It's on YouTube. I mean, heck, you're on YouTube. Look it up. All you have to do is press Rudy Giuliani press conference. Put in something like that. It'll pop it up. It's about an hour and 20, 30 minutes, something like that. It goes by fast. Take notes. Don't believe what they tell you. Take notes. Go look it up. There's plenty of statisticians that are coming out of the woodwork, entrepreneurs on their own dime, their own time. Hell, they're on COVID. They're locked down. They got nothing better to do than run the statistics through their computer. And every one of them are saying, this doesn't make sense. Okay, another one. Think of this. So in 2016 election, there were, on average, let's say, across the country, 6% of votes had to be tossed out. There was something wrong with them. They weren't signed. They were whatever it was, they had to be thrown away. That's not unusual at all. Okay. 6%. This election, we have an unprecedented amount of people who voted. Guess what happened to the percentage of votes that had to be tossed out because something was wrong with them? 0.32%. Now do that math. You have, statistically speaking, a set number of voters. 6% of those votes have to be tossed out because somebody made a mistake. Okay? You have even more. Let's add a third more voters to that. What should happen to that 6% number? It should go up. Because it's not that a third more smarter people. It would either stay the same or it should logically go up. It dropped to less than 1%. Y'all following me? Something is rotten in Denmark. He can't answer a question. He lost on any questions. Well, And I could sit back and I can think for my rational self, why didn't he campaign? Why did he spend the majority of the time in the basement? I mean, you can say COVID all you want to. My 86-year-old mother goes to Walmart. She goes to Lowe's. She does whatever the hell she wants. She works. Okay. She's out there in the public. Joe's in the basement. Just saying. And why is that? But that's my own political stuff. And I don't want to do that. I want to keep this honestly.
Cindy says, I've been watching Newsmax now for 2 weeks and will never watch Fox News or give Fox News another view. Their ratings has dropped drastically.
And I'm going to give them a plug too. I am going to give them a plug because I watched a little reporter, Chicky, get on there after this hour and 30-minute news conference where they have documentation right there on paper, not rumor or innuendo or all this crap. It is citizens. Not some of them are Democrats, some of them are Republican, coming forward and saying something's messed up. This is what we saw. We're willing to sign it on paper. Okay. And then she goes on her live feed on Fox News and calls Rudy Giuliani a liar. What? Okay. Well, I'm going to call you a non-citizen, a non-patriot, among other things that I'm going to say that I won't say on here because you'll lose monetization. You know, it is what it is. But I've turned them off. I'm watching Newsmax, and I will tell you, for me, there are things I don't like to hear about my party or my president. But they're there, and they're going to put them on there, whether you like it or not. They're going to say things about all parties, all people in politics, whether you want to hear it or not. And that's where those kind of places you need to get your news. I'm just saying. We need, the part of that and a big part of it. And please listen to that part. If you go and listen to this, and God, I hope you do. A big part of that was an absolute ass chewing delivered by all three. Well, no, Sydney didn't, but the other two did, Miss Ellis and Rudy, to the media, saying, you're not telling these people, the American people, what they need to hear. Why are you not telling them? This is not about Biden or Trump anymore. This is about their rights being stolen. Your rights. It's like people coming in on Facebook and censoring what you say on Facebook. Y'all know that's illegal, right? They can't censor you, yet we are letting them do it. There are new Facebooks popping up, different people that don't censor. There's new YouTubes. There are new news media like Newsmax popping up all over by independent people who say, our rights are being taken away. We're offering you this platform where we don't do that to you. New Twitter. They've got all new names. Was it Ramble, Rumble? I don't remember all the names. Parler, Newsmax. Go look on your news feeds. You should have people popping up saying, hey, if you're looking for an alternative where they don't remove your rights as a U.S. citizen, go to these places. And let me just tell you, most of the people I know on my platforms are leaving and going to those. You're censored here on YouTube. Hi, YouTube. You're censored here. There are other platforms popping up where that does not happen to you.
Marcy says we can voice our opinion, but it only falls on deaf ears. We are powerless against the Democrats.
I absolutely do not agree with you, Marcy. And I'm going to tell you why. How long was Joe Biden in government? 47 years. And somebody tried to correct me the other day, but I'm sorry, you're wrong. 47 years this man has been in government, the federal government. Somebody keeps voting these people in. How long has Nancy Pelosi been in office? Somebody keeps voting her in. These people, we need to start taking responsibility. Don't sit back and talk to me about how nasty your city is, how nasty your state is. You keep putting those people in there that have control over that. It is up to the voters, Marcy. That's what I'm saying. We've sat back and said, well, it's just no use. We can't do it. And you know what? When they start going sideways on you and you voted them in, you have the power to get people together that feel the same way you do and get them out. You can have them kicked out of office just like they've tried to do to Trump for the last 3 years. You can say, no. Look what they're doing. This is not what we signed up for. Get them out. It does not take a whole boatload of people. Trust me, it doesn't. They can be fired. We've got to get back to a place in our heads where these people work for us. We don't work for them. And who is making the decisions on how we vote in our states? Who is making the decision on the machines that we bring in that are owned and operated and funded by people outside of this country that absolutely do not have your best interests at heart? They want to run your government. They want to run your life. They want to own your country. I loved how they kept addressing the fake media. Yes. And told them to do their job. Yes, ma'am. Pittsburgh, you saw that? I was like, smack them around, Rudy. It's about time. But yeah, you do. We have to take it back to vote them out, but they still stay in office. Well, and then, okay, so how many times have these machines been used in local elections? How many times have votes been manipulated in local elections? We either address it now and we put it on lock that we, the people, want it this way, or we let this slide. We sit back and say, well, there's nothing we can do, and we give up our country. You give up your rights. You can't say what you want to say on YouTube or Facebook or out in the street. And let me tell you, these other countries that are putting these machines in our country, if you say something about Hugo Chavez, you go to jail, you die, you disappear. We're not very far from being that way here. When they can put you in Facebook jail, just saying.
Charlotte, our votes were counted in Spain, Germany, and Venezuela.
Yes.
Why?
They were sending our data to those countries for them to count our votes. If that's not a national security breach, I don't know what is. Think about that. Yes, he did, Marcy. He was brilliant. Oh, my God. And he laid it out. And it's not rumor. It's not innuendo. It's just, we just think that. No. It's not. It's not conspiracy theory. They have people coming forward by the droves, saying what they saw, what they heard, what they were told by supervisors to do. All of it matters. I agree. Have the U.S. military count them. I agree. But something's got to change. We need to figure out how we want it done. Go to our representatives and say, even the state of Texas, okay, the great state of Texas, yes, woo-woo. We did not accept these machines. They tried to sell them to Texas. And we said, no, thank you, because you can't secure them. I mean, this is nuts. But come to find out, there is a ancillary company that made the software that goes in our machines here. And guess who made that ancillary software? The same damn company that made the software for those Dominican machines. So Texas cannot say that our votes were not manipulated. So there's that. But I encourage everybody, please, regardless of if you're a United States citizen and you love this country, if you're outside this country and you love this country, please go watch that. Take your time at lunch, whatever, if you're working or if you're cleaning house and you're going to take a break, sit down, flip on C-SPAN or look on YouTube, look up that press conference from yesterday, and please take the time to listen to it. It is of national importance. I don't know of anything in my lifetime that has been as important as this. This is not about hanging chads. That was important then. And the country and the parties gave him the respect that he needed to have 37 days to make sure that count in one state was right. You're talking about 5 states at minimum. They've added 2 more, Virginia and New Mexico. Actually, I think there's 7 or 8 states at this point. And it could be more widespread than that because these machines are in 30 states. 30. And here's another sad fact that I don't think a lot of people, it hit me yesterday. There weren't just 2 people running in this election. There were some places had city issues that they were voting on. Some people had representatives for their state. Some had representatives for the federal level, senators, congressmen. What happens with their vote? At this point, how is the voter made whole? How does the government come to me and say, okay, first of all, Miss D, we're sorry that this happened, and here's what we're going to do to remedy this? How do they do it? How do they know if my vote counted? Maybe it did. I think it did, but I don't know. So there's that. You know, my mind goes to the people that don't vote because they don't feel like their vote counts. And like I said, I can't tell you this time it would have. I want them to vote. I want every single citizen to vote. I don't care how you vote. If you write in your neighbor because you like them and you think they do a good job, but they're not on the ballot, but you write them in. I mean, that's kind of a wasted vote, but vote.
Joyce says if they declare national fraud, it will make America look just as corrupt as other countries. I think Biden will be named. If Democrats get away with this, we'll never be safe. Newswatch is great news.
I think, honestly, if we declare it a fraud and we have to start over, let's just play like we have to do that. Let's say that the Supreme Court names Clarence Thomas, I'm just picking a name, y'all, to run the government until we get it straightened out. Okay, he's our president, standing in for the lack of a president at the moment. I think the rest of the world will be in awe of the fact that we took the time to stop it in its tracks and to fix it, because that's who we are. That's what we do. We still have a functioning military. We still have a functioning government that can enact that military to protect us if need be. Don't even play like y'all can come over here and start ruckus in our country while we're figuring things out amongst ourselves. So there's that. Okay. But I think they will be in awe, the rest of the world, that we would take the time to say, hold on a minute. This can't happen. Start over. And this is how we're going to do it. And everybody's going to do it the same way. Boom. If it's just for this one election and we take the next 4 years to figure it out. I love states' rights. I believe in states' rights. I think every state should have the right to decide things for themselves. And our little governments are set up the same way the big one is, for a reason. I love that. But I also think that there are times in this country where it is of national concern, like the election of our president and vice president. Okay? And I think on those occasions, maybe it needs to be an independent ballot where it's just those people we're voting for, period, end of. And I think that maybe we all need to do it the exact same way. And if we have to go back to paper and pen, then let's do it. If that's what it takes, if people have to show up and vote, if representatives have to go out to people who are homebound and can't get out and they have to witness them voting on a piece of paper, then let's do it that way. If that's what it takes. You know, sworn people, sworn to office to go pick up the votes and bring them in, and they're counted immediately when you bring them in. If that's what it takes, let's do it.
Because so Joyce says Republicans aren't backing Trump. It was done intentionally by the Democrats, so they are fighting. Trump is having to pay millions in bonds alone.
Well, you know, and that's what they said yesterday, as a matter of fact, that it's not necessarily a Republican issue. And it's not just Democrats who are doing this. We don't know all the people that are in charge of calling these shots. We know some of the foreign players. There were people from Venezuela here that run this company that were in Chicago running these machines the night of the election. Why were they there? Why? You know, no, yes, he did stop the one in Michigan because, Joy, they have two Democrats and two Republicans for the Electoral College that certify the vote, okay, in Detroit. They initially, after hours of being threatened, demeaned, degraded, screamed at, the two Republicans agreed to certify the vote. Then they left there and they went, wait a minute, what just happened? Okay, we know that we can't certify these votes. There's shenanigans going on. We don't know what all's going on, but there's no way we can certify this vote. So they went back and said, no, we rescind our certification. We refuse to certify this vote. Once they certify the votes, they're then given to the Electoral College. So Michigan was trying to hurry up. Hurry. That's what people do when they're lying. Okay. They talk fast. They act fast. They do everything fast. They're trying to rush it through so they can get their Electoral College to agree that this state goes to Biden. That's a big old no-no. Sorry. And now the Supreme Court no, the Secretary of State for the state of Michigan is saying, no, 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 you can't take, there's no take backsies. What kind of kindergarten schoolyard shit is that? Listen, if I come forward and sign an affidavit that you harassed me and I list what you did to me and what you said to me in order for me to vote your way, that I was absolutely coerced, cajoled, threatened to vote your way, and I put it on a piece of paper and I sign it under penalty of perjury, I can take back whatever the hell. Don't even play. So that will be going to the Supreme Court. But that's the only reason why they pulled back that lawsuit, because there will be more coming to Detroit. Don't think there won't. And currently there were 4. They dropped that one. There are 3 lawsuits pending right now for Trump. This crap that you're hearing on fake news about there being 30 lawsuits out there, those are from private citizens that have launched lawsuits in this election because of the voting situation. Some of them have been dropped because there's no merit or there's no standing, I think is what the language that they used. But some of them were launched before the election even took place. I don't know the details of those, but yeah. There are 3 from the Trump lawyers. That's it. There will be more coming. But what they're working on now is the actual counts, the mail-in ballots, not the machines. That's going to be a separate ordeal. Yeah, you need to call your senators and raise absolute hell. Sign the petitions. When you see them come up, sign them. Yeah, and Newswatch is extremely fair. Cheating is cheating. It doesn't matter the time. It doesn't matter who does it. You're absolutely right. Makes big. Ignore that. That's my phone. I'm not answering it. Yeah, you have a media right now that is declaring a president-elect. And that's significant. Okay. When you talk about people putting things in your head and telling and lying to you, lying. There is no president-elect in this country until those votes are certified in every single state and every single county, and they are handed over to the Electoral College, and they cast their vote, and then they deem one person who reaches 270 or better.
Joy Lang, welcome to the Coffee Coalition.
Welcome, Joy. And they are declared the president-elect. The Electoral College does that, not CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, local news. No, that is not how we do elections. So there is no president-elect. There should be no transition stuff going on. Inviting Biden in to hear national security concerns. I don't care what his security clearance is or his vice president. I don't care. It is inappropriate. It is not done that way. There are laws. There's reason why we have security clearances and why we don't just invite people in who think they won something. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't, but it's still contested. There's been no concessions made. President Trump is the president. There's been an election. It has not been decided, period, end of. So this transition crap you're hearing, and how, oh, they're being so unfair. They're not going to, and the nation is at risk because Biden doesn't know what's going on with the country. Well, first of all, wake his ass up and get him out the basement. Sit him in front of MSNBC. Maybe they can teach him something. There's that, okay? And it's more of a national security concern to me right now, what's happened with this election, than it will ever be what Joe Biden does or does not know. That is what is important to me. As a citizen, as a patriot, as a person who voted. I'm far more concerned about that. And I think most people should be too. You know, and this whole thing of, well, see, he's refusing to leave. And that grotesque mob that was out in front of the White House the night after the election. Can we not just stop it? Just knock it off? This is ridiculous. Do I think there should have been a pro-Trump rally in the middle of Washington, D.C.? No, I don't think there should have. I think everybody needs to go the hell back to work. You had an election. Let them sort it out. Let them figure out what's going on. Stop all this ginning shit up and getting one side mad against the other. That is not helping anything. I love that you love Trump. I love that you want to go down there and march on Washington, D.C. and show him support. You know what? Write him a letter, send him an email, see if you can call him. But stay your ass out of the streets so we're not out there beating each other up and acting like a bunch of hooligans. That solves nothing. That's third world crap. I don't know what Joe knows. To be honest, Mixed Big, I don't know. But yeah, I think we need to stop presuming things, stop playing things. You know, they were called on the carpet to bring this evidence forward. They did. They didn't have to. Just FYI. He needs to stay in office until it's finished. Most complainant haven't ever been through this. They're too young. Exactly. And they want it run a certain way. Well, if that's what you want, run for office, get your ass up there where they make the laws and see if you can change them. One of the most interesting things that I learned last night in my little quest to find out about Mr. Hamilton was the fact that when he was writing, when he actually got in and he was looking at building the government, we had no laws, we had no rules. We had a constitution, we got that ratified, that was great. But we needed a currency. We needed laws about banking. We needed laws about stocks trading. That he started all that business. Don't know how I feel about that, but that's another story. But what he did, and I've been saying this for years, probably a decade or better now, he put through one idea at the time to this new Congress that we had, okay? He put forth one idea and say, I think that we need to have a standard. I think back then it was silver. It wasn't gold yet. And then they switched back and forth. But this needs to be what our money is based on. So if we have a paper dollar, it's based on X amount of silver that we have over here, like in Fort Knox. They didn't have Fort Knox, but in our reserve, in our bank. Okay, we need to have it based on something. And he would put that idea through. One idea. What would happen if, let's say, you want to change the healthcare system in this country, Medicare, Medicaid. All right, just start with Medicaid. And you want to change it to do A, B, and C. And that's what you want. What if you just took like 50 pages, wrote that down, your idea down, put it out for your friends to look at in Congress, and they said, hey, you know what? That's a good idea. They could all sit and read it during lunch. They go back and they vote on it. Instead of 3,000 pages of how you're going to change insurance, you're going to change Medicare, you're going to change Medicaid, you're going to change Social Security, disability, you're going to change how insurance is run in this country. They're going to have to do this, they're going to have to do that, they're going to have to do pre-existing, they're not going to do pre-existing, they're going to do this. 3,000 pages where one person is supposed to read that in 48 hours or less. Could you do it? Could you read 3,000 pages? And not only that, what else is in there? Because you can bet your sweet bippy that it was not just healthcare that was in that bill. There was a bridge that needed to be built in this city that goes to nowhere. There was some swampland that they needed to build some condos on. They wanted to reroute this interstate over in this place, and they need money for that, whatever, and all this other crap. What if this country went back to one idea, 50 pages or less, and the senator, congressman has to read it themselves? No aides, no, people coming in, reading it for them and saying, well, here's the Cliff Notes. No. Don't give me your Cliff Notes. Let me read it. Let me see what's in here. And it's just one idea. Wouldn't that be amazing? Can you imagine how much stuff would get done? I mean, you could handle many of those a day. They could just debate it real quick on the floor. Say, yeah, I like that idea. Nope, don't. Thumbs up, thumbs down. It goes, it doesn't. One idea. No hidden agendas in there. No pork. And that's how we used to do things. Well, how did we get away from that? Because people could make money. Then you start getting people who are backing certain people and saying, well, tell them you'll give them 10 grand if they'll vote yeah. Okay, yeah. We'll give you 10 grand if you vote. You don't need to read it. Just vote yeah. So yeah, just imagine. And what if the people of this country decide to get on their phones, get on their computers, start sending emails, start sending written mail, start making phone calls until you bug the crap out of your senators, your representatives, and say, I demand that you do this. I want this through, and I'm going to be checking up. I'm going to be coming back next week and see where you're at on this. And I expect a response because you work for me. And if you don't, I know a lot of people in this town, and I can start running my mouth. I'm real good at that. And I can start talking to people about how you don't get back to me. You don't talk to me. I've sent you this, 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 this. I've got copies of it. And they're going to get ticked off. They're going to start either writing you, calling you, emailing you. And then pretty soon it's going to get about halfway through your term, and we're going to toss you out. I'm going to walk around this town with a petition and have people sign it until we get you out of office and we put somebody else in that is willing to do what we want you to do. And that's how it needs to be. He told them no behind closed door deals. Yep. Yeah, it used to be a public service job. They used to be public servants. Guess who the servants are now? I remember distinctly a little video where Joe Biden was in a guy's face screaming at him, I don't work for you. Really? Who do you work for? Because I'm going to need an answer for that. Because I'm paying your bills. You're living in my house. So, okay, I'm off my soap. Not a turkey. Joy, were you afraid you get shot? She wants to go back to gold. Really? I did not know that. I didn't do my homework on that. I kind of, went my party. That may be bad. Carla, what are you doing, girl?
I had to go potty.
Oh, I should have unmuted you. I can't unmute you. Damn.
I know. Well, I don't take my laptop into the bathroom. So, So are we still on a soapbox or?
I'm down.
Oh,
I'll
you
behave.
went through?
I'll behave. Please go watch that, though, y'all. Please, please, please. I'm begging you. Tell your friends. Tell your family to watch it.
Joe works for no one soon, hopefully.
Maybe he works for Jill. Murfreesboro needs to get rid of their mayor. Tearing down our history. Why? See, that makes me sad. And I think that's why I love New Orleans so much, because they have ordinances that you can't tear down historical buildings. You have to refurbish them.
I think that's a sin when they do that, when they start tearing down historical buildings or destroying them, historical things.
I wonder how many we'll lose if we get the new Green Deal or whatever.
What's that?
Well, they want to tear down a whole bunch of buildings across the country and make them green, rebuild them green.
Oh, God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What should we watch? I have been watching Newsmax. And on there, you can find the press conference from yesterday with Rudy Giuliani with the evidence. That's who I've been watching only for about a couple of weeks. And I like them. I really do. They're fair as far as I can tell. Now, they might be a little bit one-sided, a little bit leaning to the right. I won't lie, but they have put things on there that were hard for me to read or watch, but I'm doing it anyway because it's fair and I need to know both sides. An old church, as long as I can remember, rang its bells on Sunday. They voted to tear it down for parking.
Oh, God.
Don't get me started on COVID rules. Because why are strip clubs open but churches aren't? Why is that?
That's an anomaly.
I mean, the destruction of our society as we know it. I'm sorry. I don't know where the new ideation came in that we're, like we are. But as long as I've known it, it's been a Judeo-Christian nation. And there's that. I don't know. But you can't go to church. That's bad. You can go to a strip club. Can't go to church.
You can go to a strip club. You can't go to church.
Sorry, I had that backwards. Maybe I was hoping for the best. I've been preaching at y'all to say things that, you want to have happen. Put it out there, right?
Democrats keep doing whatever they want. And no court or higher ups never press charges on any of them. You know who should have been charges pressed on her was Hillary Clinton.
Girl, her atrocities, I can't even.
Oh my gosh. I think what she did was disgusting.
Well, we got to figure out a way as a governed people, because we are governed, but we're governed by our laws, not the people. So there's that. We're a nation of laws. So we got to figure a way how to get that back, how to no longer allow the people who represent us in Congress to get away with what they do. Crashing fashion crimes. I want a jumpsuit. She almost brought jumpsuits back. If she hadn't looked so crappy in them, maybe, I don't know.
Oh, and Biden is appointing her the UN
Ambassador.
ambassador. Yeah. Ah, how do you feel about that? I feel really bad about that.
Well,
I think she should be in an orange jumpsuit.
I
To be
thought so too.
honest with
If
you,
she needs a new jumpsuit, it needs to be orange or white, black and white stripes, whichever she prefers.
yeah,
And
whichever is
I don't know how you represent us at the UN from a jail cell, but maybe they could video conference her in. I don't know.
yeah, Zoom meeting. Zoom
You know,
meeting.
I just there's already so much infighting in that party as far as the really progressives, the hardline progressives, and the moderates,
Right,
and
Joey?
fighting
And
amongst
she'll
each
get
other.
treated like the Benghazi ambassador.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's go drop her on a roof over there. Can we do that? And have everybody stand down and or sell popcorn, whichever they want. But we have to find a way to make this work better. But here's the thing, and this is what they're banking on. Everybody's sitting back thinking that the next person will do it. And you know how that goes in your own homes, because you walk past the couch and at the end of the couch, there's a pair of socks laying there. And you think, well, that's, somebody else, they'll pick them up. And then you walk back by again, and there's a pair of underwear sitting there on top of the socks. And somebody walks by and think, oh, the next person will get it. Before you know it, half of everybody's closet's at the end of the couch in the living room. For what? Because nobody picked it up. So you have to have a family meeting. You got to sit down and say, okay, first of all, nobody's laundry goes in the living room. That's number one. There are baskets. Y'all know where they need to go. Then you got to find somebody to police that stuff, right?
Yep.
And stop it as it happens. So we've got to be vigilant. We have to be better citizens than we've been. And it starts with us. I mean, it's sad news. I know everybody's busy. Everybody's got their lives going on. But there has to be a way for everybody to take some time out of their week or their month or whatever to make sure things are going the way they should be. Yeah, there were some people that did turn on him. There are people, though, that have been absolutely supportive. I'm taking notes, writing down names, and seeing who's there and who's not. And then I think that there are some people who are not out front and forward as they usually are. Like, you always see Jim Jordan, you always see Ted Cruz, Lindsey Graham. I mean, you can count on these people always being on the television, right? And saying that they support and yada, yada. But I think there are a whole lot of representatives in our government that are nameless, faceless people that do a tremendous amount of supporting that you never hear about, because that's just not how they do things. I haven't personally seen anybody come out and say, well, he just needs to concede and move on. I don't know. Joy, have you seen that? If so, I need their name so I can write them a really nice, loving letter. Say, have you lost your mind, a concerted citizen? Because I haven't seen a lot of that. And I do know that there are a lot that are very quiet. Lamar Alexander is one of my favorites, and he tends to be the type of, I don't even want to call him a politician. He seems to be the type of representative, let's call him that takes the issue, looks at it from all sides, and makes a
Mhm.
decision. And it's not a party thing. It's he does his job. And
Right.
whatever, it doesn't matter if there's a D in his name or an R beside his name. He does his job, and I respect the hell out of that. Yeah, they are. They're going after him hard. The last thing they want is for this to happen. All I can tell him is, dudes, lie better. I mean, I don't. How in the world? It's kind of like, I don't know. You know, you had the whole Russian scandal, which that's a whole thing. But you've got an entire country who's willing to sit here and be spoon fed the crap you spoon feed them. Lamar Alexander, I love that man. Oh, he did say he should concede. Remind me to write him a letter. He's in trouble now.
Uh-oh.
That makes me sad for Lamar. But you know what? I know that when Lamar says that, number one, he's speaking from his heart, and he's also speaking from the knowledge that he's seeing. Do I know that when he said that, he knew the evidence they had? I think that if he saw what I saw, that might change how he feels about that. I don't know. Because I think that he's a pretty fair guy. I've seen him make some really amazing statements that I never dreamed anybody would actually get on camera and say the opposition, say the opposite of what his party expected him to say. Yeah, they didn't expect us to know. They think we're that dumb. You know what? And if that doesn't insult you enough to take action in this as a citizen, to stand up and say, everything stops. You guys figure this out, because this is never going to happen again. I'm going to be able to go cast my vote and know that it counted. Period. End of. I mean, this is beyond electoral college, guys. This is why we have an electoral college. That I'm going to study. I'll do a talk on that one of these days soon. But I'm going to give you an answer for that one, because it was put there specifically so things like this didn't happen. There's like a cooling off period between when you vote and when those votes get certified and go to an electoral college. So there's an absolute that that your vote counted. And in this case, it didn't. And thank God we have the electoral college right now, or else we'd be up a creek.
I agree, Joy.
Well, yeah, when you were a kid and you did something bad, like you spilled something on the carpet, didn't you want your mom to walk through that room real damn quick, so you found a way to get her through there? Mix big. So she didn't see that stain on the carpet and you didn't get in trouble? Just saying. Kind of like that situation going on here on an adult scale, playing big games. But, criminals they're not really good liars. They're not very good at it. Jim Jordan. Yeah, he's kind of hot too. Don't tell my husband. I think that's my future next husband. Just saying.
Who? Jim Jordan.
Yeah. He's kind of hot. I'm like, ooh, Jim's on. Everybody shut up. He's a cutie.
Cow.
Well, everybody's in love with, I broke up with him. What's his name? Trey Gowdy.
Everybody's like Hannity too.
Hannity?
Yeah.
I found, you know who he's dating?
I remember.
Ainsley Earhart.
Yeah.
Sean has been, you know what? Now, I will say that, and he is extremely right-leaning. Don't get me wrong. I mean, if you only want to hear one side of the story, watch Sean Hannity. But on this one, I do watch him. I watch Tucker, and I watch Laura, only because I know that when they get a hold of something like that, they don't stop. I mean, they keep digging. They keep asking questions.
I always thought he was good looking.
Who, Sean?
Sean Hannity.
He kind of reminds me of my dad, so I couldn't ever go there. It's kind of weird.
Oh, really? Your dad was handsome.
I think Tucker's cute. I think Tucker's a cutie. Well, whatever. Yeah, I broke up with Trey Gowdy because he left Congress. I think he shouldn't have left. He should have stayed right where he was and kept fighting the good fight. But, he left it up to Jordan. So now I'm with Jordan. Neener, Trey. Whatever. You're invited to the wedding, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, sure.
How bad at lying, chronic liar. Amazing, isn't it? How bad at lying chronic liars are.
Mixed
Yeah, no, it never ceases to amaze me.
I know, Jen, but I needed him to stay in there and keep fighting. I get tired of bullshit too, but I'm still here. Whatever. And oh yeah, it's amazing how bad at lying. Chronic liars are. You know why? Because they tell a few lies and they don't get caught. So then they think they're good at it, right? So then they start getting dicey with how loose they play the
So
whole lie
they
telling
get
thing.
reckless.
Yeah,
They get reckless, and
they
then they
think
get
they're
caught
safe.
in their lies.
Yeah. But
And they
that
get
works for
caught
the rest
anymore.
of us, doesn't it? The ones that don't lie. It's like you
Yeah.
just sit back and go, "Wow, really? That's what you're going with."
I
Okay.
guess
All
all you
right.
have to do is lie to get away with stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. No. It doesn't work that way, unfortunately for liars. Sorry. Do you remember Bart
Not all
Gordon?
the time.
Used to be in the Senate. Great guy, but I think he got out of politics because of the corruption. No, I don't. I'm gonna have to look him up because I bet if I see his face, I'll remember him. Was he Tennessee? Yeah, they get blasé and arrogant. Yes, they do. Cocky. And get all cocky with them lies. You think you're cute?
Cucky.
Cocky. Cucky. That's how Australians say it, right?
Cucky. Yeah.
You cuck.
I don't know how.
Murfreesboro.
I never mastered that Australian bullshit.
I'm gonna
Oh,
have to.
sorry if
I thought
anybody's
you did.
Australian.
I thought
No,
you
well,
did.
you know what? We played a game show one night, and because they have all kinds of different words for different things, and we played that game one night. It was fun.
I think you're pretty good at your Aussie accent, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I can only say one thing in Aussie accent.
Say
The
it.
dingo ate my baby.
A dingo hate my baby.
The dingo ate my
My
baby.
attorney before, he was so good looking. I know. You know what's funny? When I was getting my divorce, I really, really, really wanted this one attorney because he was like the best divorce attorney in town. But my Aussie's BS, and you're an Oz. But
I'm sorry, mixed bag.
my ex-husband supposedly beat me to this attorney, right? So I couldn't retain him because he'd already talked about our case to a neighbor who worked for the attorney. Long story short. So he calls me personally, this attorney, super busy, super good attorney, very expensive. And he calls me and he says, I can't take your case because your stupid ex-husband, he hated him. But he went ahead and worked for him. And I thought, this is great, works in my favor. He hates him. I'll get anything I want. Not only that, but he referred me to his personal attorney, right? This dude was so hot. I was like, dude, don't be sending me to this hot attorney. He's gorgeous. So yeah, win, win, win. Well, I win, win, win.
Was that your divorce attorney?
Yeah. So good looking. I was like,
I've heard stories about women.
I just kept saying, I just kept
looking.
looking at him saying, what'd you say? I'm sorry. Huh? My hearing went,
You
my
want to
ears
be my
were ringing.
future ex-husband?
Oh yes, he was my future ex-husband. No, I didn't marry that one, but he was already married. But I was like, do you just like, is there any other alternate payment you'd like to accept from me? Because I have no underwear on under this skirt. Just saying. No, I'm kidding.
Did the Sharon Stone.
I did the Sharon Stone thing. I thought about it. I was
Oh,
like,
Lord.
damn, he's cute.
We're getting naughty now. We're getting naughty.
Oh, he was hot. Hot. And the one that I wanted was kind of not very cute.
My best friend dated him, Bart Gordon, and told me details.
Really?
Oh, do
Really?
tell.
So did he match up to his looks horizontally speaking? I kept that clean, didn't I?
Speaking.
How did you like how I kept that clean? Cheeky.
You did keep it clean. I'm proud of you. Very proud of you.
The adults in the room that have an imagination know what horizontal means. Just saying. Horizon, laying down. There you go. Okay.
Yes.
I need to know details about this dude.
Yeah, me too.
The best. Damn.
She said her friend, right? Dated him?
Mm-hmm. The worst ever.
Why you been holding out on us, Joy?
Right. My best friend, when I was married to my ex-husband, started dating my ex-brother-in-law and started sharing details. I'm like, no. Can't hear it. Nope. It's like my sister. No. Don't need to know. All jealous. Why'd she let him go?
Who's jealous?
Probably because he was the best with a lot of people, I bet. You know how those guys are. when they're super, super, super hot, super like you need oven mitts to be around them. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they share that. Just
Well, friends share that. I would share that with you.
he was sweet and very truthful.
You do share that. You share a lot about your husband with us, certain people.
I'm a sharing kind of gal.
Yes, you're
No,
very
I
sharing.
mean they share
Sharing is
all their
caring.
goods. I mean
Caring is sharing. Sharing is caring.
You're cute, Ben.
Yeah, Ben,
You're
you're
a
cute.
catch. You're a catch. I'm so
Yes, you
sorry.
are. He's a nice guy.
You are. We need to find you a chicky powwow. Yes, we do.
Yeah, but not on YouTube.
No, not on YouTube. We'll have to mail
You
order
can find a real life one.
an old rich family, and she likes naughty boys. I'm not going to ask you here to define naughty.
Welcome, welcome. Nice to see you.
Hey, Kim, you were not joking. You
No,
are
I
a
wasn't.
cutie.
No, I wasn't. Did you
Ben
call
is
me
a
an
cutie.
idiot?
What?
Did you just call me an idiot?
No, I said
I
Ben
thought you
said he
said,
was
"Hi, Andy."
joking, and I said no, he isn't. No,
Oh, okay.
Andy.
Ben's not bad looking. He's got all his hair.
Cruz. Andy Cruz, are you related to Ted Cruz? Just checking, because I'll be happy if you are.
Or what's that other cruise?
Ted Cruz.
Another cruise. Oh, a
rock
woman.
star.
There's a woman. There's a woman cruise. What's her name?
I don't know.
She's a singer or something. I don't know. She might be an actress or a singer. Hey, Marcy.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But yeah. Ted's my little rock star. I love me some Ted Cruz. I love me some Crenshaw. He's a cutie.
Okay, is he a hall pass?
Yeah, he'd be a hall pass. Yeah.
Okay.
After Jim, though. Jim Jordan's first. Just saying.
Always go for the news guys.
No. These are representatives. These
whatever. Not representatives. Politics or news is your forte.
I don't know. News guys.
Oh, they're pretty boys. A lot of them are pretty boys. Come on.
They are. They are.
And so are the women. Come on.
But they take 4 times longer in front of the mirror than girls do. I'm just saying.
True.
It's just a given.
You would miss out on bathroom time.
I will tell you, though, that if you go to Newsmax, this is on Newsmax, y'all. Another breaking news. That's for Cindy.
Breaking news, y'all.
Breaking news, y'all. On Newsmax, they talk about Sean Hannity and Ainsley dating. And they show some really cute pictures of Sean on the beach with his hair blowing. And he's just a cutie. He's cute. I think Tucker's cuter. Don't tell Sean I said that, but I'm just saying. He's kind of cute. With his little hair tasseled. Well, it's not like glued in place for TV, He served from 85 to 2011. Oh, see, I left in 85. 71 now. Is he single, Joy? I'm gonna have to look this dude up. He might be a hall pass. Surely he's married.
How old is Sean Hannity?
I don't know. And he's got to be in his 50s, 60s, maybe.
He looks damn good. Looks very good. It's warm here today, guys. What's it like where you all are?
Oh, God. Hot.
It's like going to be in the 60s today, which is warm because the last couple of days it's been cold.
Yeah, he was a U.S. Representative, Tennessee Congressional District. Mother's
Why
butt.
do men always look better as they age?
Because God has a wicked sense of humor. That's where I'm going with.
We were talking about that the other day.
Because God has jokes.
Yeah, the jokes on us.
Because women live longer.
Ted Cruz is looking better.
I think he is too. I don't know how I feel about the beard, though. It's kind of scraggly. It's a little bit on the Joe Dirt side.
I like beards. I don't know. Don't.
I like beards.
Scratchy. I don't like beards.
The 30s there. It gets down to the low 50s.
You've got a husband that looks 12. So,
He definitely has a Joe Dirt beard. Like there's pieces missing. He's got Appalachia on some areas. I'm just saying.
I'm telling him you said that.
Hannity is 58.
It's 58, so
Hey, he's within striking range.
he's looking good. He's looking really
Sean
good.
Hannity.
How old is Ainsley?
She's a lot
Oh,
younger, I think. She's in her 40s,
okay.
mid 40s.
Well, that's not bad. That's not bad age range. Well, look at you. Hello,
What? What about me?
cougar.
Yeah, because mine's a baby.
You robbed the cradle.
He's a little boy.
Just a young kid. Oh, when he got his hair cut, he looked like he was about 16.
Right.
Oh my God.
Where did his hair go? Like he
Like,
always does that.
what was that cut? Tell that story. That was so funny.
Okay, so he goes to Buford. I'm not even lying. You can't make this shit up, okay? His barber's he's like 80 years old, and his name is Buford. Well, Buford and his sidekick, the other barber, evidently are off for COVID, I think, because he's gone by there several times and they're not open. So he finally got desperate, went down the street a ways and found a barber pole. And went in. And there's 3 Hispanic guys standing behind chairs cutting 3 Hispanic guys' hair, right? And then there's 3 other Hispanic guys sitting over the chairs to the side. So he thought there was a line, right? He has a Hispanic last name. However, my husband, who likes to say he's Hispanic, is blonde hair, blue eyed, and does not speak a lick. Can't even say adios. He says adios. That's not how you say that word, but okay. So he goes in there and like nobody speaks English. And so he just sits there and everybody's just kind of looking at him and they start kind of giggling a little bit. Yuck, yuck, yuck. So finally one of the guys gets up and they call him over to the chair. Well, the other guys that were sitting, they weren't in line. They were actually other barbers. Okay. Well, he's got one guy that can understand English and translate, but he can't speak English back to my husband. So he's trying to describe what kind of haircut he wants. Well, the guy that's trying to halfway translate for him it's a fade. So it's like shaved, close to the skin, but then it gets longer as it goes up and it goes up into this really tall mohawk. Not what my husband was going for at all. He goes for a high and tight, which is military, where it's basically a fade. It is longer on the top, but it's it's shaved on the sides, almost
Very
all the way up.
short. Very short on the side.
But his hair's gotten kind of long because, Buford hadn't been around. So, and my husband's blonde hair, blue eyed little guy. And so he's trying to describe this haircut. Well, the guy starts cutting his hair. He's got the clippers and he's shaving it and he's going up and he's going up and he stops. So he's got like this mushroom on the top of his head with just skin. The skin part's right? But the mushroom part, not right at all. Okay. So he's trying to describe it to the guy and the guy can't. He's just shaking his head no and laughing at him. So he goes through his phone and he finds a picture and he shows him. He's like, oh, okay. He goes, after that, he was like Edward Scissorhands. And it was perfect. Perfection. So then they go to pay for it. And he's figuring it's probably going to be like $20. I want to tip him 10 and I've got 40, right? And that's what I've got. So he's trying to negotiate, how much to pay him and all this. That got kind of weird and they were laughing about it, but they finally figured it out. And I'm like, poor guy, you need to learn some Spanish. Just saying. I mean, you live in Texas, for real. Seriously. There's a population here. They don't all speak English. It is what it is. And they did a good job. So you might want to learn some keywords in Espanol so that you can communicado. Yeah. Yeah, it did work out good. He came back with both ears. And the hair was cut appropriately. So we're good. He has come home when he accidentally ended up in like a Supercuts or something like that. And he described it. And she's like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. And he came home. I'm sitting at the computer and he's standing beside me. And I'm like, what's going on? He's got his baseball cap on, just at his haircut. I'm like, well, you got your baseball cap on. And so he had bags in his hand. He dropped them and he said, I could cut a bitch. And I said, pardon me? Is something wrong? Is it me? So his hands are empty. He pulls off his hat. He goes, look at my hair. And he said it just like that, like he's about to cry. like he is a chick. I'm trying not to laugh. I'm like, you big sissy. What? I've never cut. I've never cried over somebody
I
jacking my
have.
hair up. I mean, I've gotten
I
mad
have.
on what the
I
hell,
have.
and then
I've
started.
cried.
I've
I've cried
looked
over
up.
haircuts.
I have not, and I've like looked
I
up
have.
different people to go get it fixed. But no, this dude has got like the big water wells in the bottom of his eyes, lips quivering. Look at my hair. I'm like, oh, stop. Please stop before I just pee myself, because this is the funniest shit I have ever seen in my life. And it was bad. I mean, it was like jagged on this. It was, oh, he had to go get it fixed. But it wouldn't be on repair. I mean, it's not like she just shaved him bald or anything. I used to cut all my family's hair, my ex-husband, my kids, everybody. Not anymore. I don't touch his because I saw that one episode of the look at my hair. No, I chose then to never go that route. It's like you can go pay for it because we'd
I
be
know what that
divorced.
feels like, though. I cried over haircuts. I remember one time it was so awful. I told him, I said, take me to Joanne, or not, it wasn't Joanne, some other place. I don't want to name it. And get me a wig. That's how much I hated it. He said, just cut it shorter. I said, oh, I don't want to. Oh my God, I was so upset. I was pissed. Not only did I not tip her, I was pissed when I left. She knew I was pissed. And she didn't do what I asked her to do. So I know.
Yeah.
I can feel for him.
Man, I don't know. That just struck me. I knew that, men are more vain than we say they are.
Mixed
They
Big
really
says they have too. So,
and the thing is they don't have to make all the decisions. Like, you got to do what eyeshadow, what color blush, what color lipstick, what color, you're
yeah,
going to wear a dress, you're going to wear pants, you're going to wear shorts,
yeah.
you're going to, what purse can I wear? The shoes have to match. I mean, we got to go through all this crap, and we can still get ready before them. I mean, I don't know. I sit there and watch him. He's like, plucking nose hairs. I'm like, nobody's going to know. Nobody sees that shit. What are you doing? Like, it's for every little hairs, right? It's like, Jesus, move it on, buddy. The belt's got to be exactly perfect, because he's ex-military. So it's got to, I'm like, oh my
Well,
God.
he likes a certain cut and he wanted it a certain way. And that's how I was.
He's a chick. Carla, let's just admit it. Let's
Yeah,
be honest.
he is. He's a chick.
He's a freaking chick.
My husband is that way over his hair. I have done so much to my hair. Blonde, blue, lavender. I love that. Lavender.
Lavender's pretty.
Yeah, it is. I love the smell of lavender. I love the color lavender.
I love the smell of wisteria.
I'm not sure I know what that smells like.
No?
No. Seriously, I don't.
I don't either.
I went in with 2 pictures, shag or inverted bob. Yeah, I've had the inverted bob. She cut my hair both ways.
What? An inverted shag bob.
How did she do that? How did she cut it both ways? I can't even imagine.
Maybe she wasn't clear on the whole it's a either or thing. Not
So loves wisteria.
She got an inverted shag bob. What does that even look like?
I don't know.
I'm scared.
I know what an inverted
An inverted shag bob.
But I don't know how you could put those two
Remember
together.
when everybody had to have the Dorothy Hamill haircut?
Oh, yeah.
Then there was
I
a
had that.
Farrah Fawcett haircut.
Mm-hmm.
And then
My hair was never long
haircut.
enough to have the Farrah Fawcett haircut. I have thin hair.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Mom.
What?
Thank you, Mother.
What did I do?
Thin hair. No, thank you. Oh, are you talking to your husband?
Mm-mm. I was talking to you.
No, I said thank you, Mother, for my thin hair.
Oh, right.
For my alopecia. My Appalachia. Thank you for my Appalachia. No, I don't have that. Thank you, Mother.
I was laying in my parents' floor watching TV with my dad was in the bed. My mom was on the little love seat in their room. She's quilting. And my mom was fussing. She's like, you kids, I just can't. You're just like your father. You just take your socks off and you leave them wherever they fall. Yang, 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 you know, belly. Mom, it was a mom moment, you know.
Uh-huh.
And being 9 years old. Of course, you know, I was a criminal at that age.
Yes, I know you had friends that robbed houses at
Yeah,
8 years old.
of course I
So,
did, right?
yeah,
Because I ran with thugs.
we do know that.
So, being the thug that I was at that age, I said very poignantly, well, that would be great if we knew who my dad was because I'm adopted, right?
Right.
I was making an adopted joke. Now, my mother said that my dad interpreted that as I don't know my biological father because I'm adopted. Years later, I interpreted that I just called my mom a slut. we didn't know who she slept with. Okay.
I like when your mom told you that she doesn't know why childbirth was that hard because
She didn't have any problem at all. I'm like,
yeah, she didn't have no problem at
you
all.
needed an epidural to write that check, did you? Okay. But yeah, so my dad, like the room got so quiet when I said that. Well, that'd be great if we knew who my dad was. Like deathly quiet. Then my dad started laughing. He goes, okay, that was funny, but don't ever say that again. Because I think that he interpreted that I just called my mom a slut. And I didn't even know I had done that. You know, I was whatever doing the adoption joke, but I think he interpreted it the funny way. So yeah, and now
And
I
she
think
charged you $85. Oh, go ahead.
what? For a haircut.
I paid that much for a haircut and not been happy with it. That's when you don't. I always tip though. I always say I'm not going to tip her because I'm pissed at her.
Has there
I
ever
always
been a
do
time
that.
in your life where you wanted to say, I've got a tip for you. Do not play in the street and not leave the money? I mean, there's been so many
No,
times I've
never.
wanted to say
I've
that.
never said it out loud in my head.
It's
But I always
$85. That I would die. I don't know. I've not ever had it because mine's been the same 80s haircut. It's been since the 80s, probably 70s, really.
like I'm thinking of getting my nails done, but I don't know. I'm in the car listening. Oh, where are you off to, Gingerlock's mom? Love you, girl.
I'm to the point where if I don't get my nails done pretty soon, it's going to be a health hazard because I am a severe nail biter. And the reason why I've had artificial nails for as long as I have is so that I don't bite them. And I've
Right.
had them off for almost a year now. And I'm just telling you, it's, I need help or
I haven't
therapy.
I haven't had artificial nails for a couple of years. I just don't like long nails. Like
Yeah, I don't keep them long, even when they're fake. I don't.
I don't like those long, pointy nails. I just
Victoria's
don't like them.
Secret.
But why
Oh,
don't you try the gel, at home gel ones? Because
no,
they're supposedly
no,
all
no,
you have to do is dip your finger in.
no.
Supposedly, that's what it looks like.
Well, that's what
And then,
I do. Those are dipped. Those aren't gel. Gel you paint on, but then the
oh,
acrylic, you
okay,
get
the
the acrylic
the
dip.
dip.
That's what I
Okay,
was doing.
the dip. Why
Yeah,
don't
and
you
they
do
were
that?
actually my nails with dip on top. But then I took them all off because COVID, and everything's COVID. You know that.
Yeah, everything that goes wrong
What's
because of
what's the
COVID.
coffin shape? That's scary.
Okay. Really?
Is it a coffin shape haircut?
No, I think she's talking about nails, you doofus.
Oh, the coffin shaped nails. What
I've
is
never seen them.
that?
Oh, I'm gonna have to Google that.
Google coffin.
Google it. Coffin shaped nails. Damn it. Let's see. Ugh, Sean is coming up. He's so good looking.
Coffin shape.
Coffin shaped.
I've not seen that before.
Shaped. No, I've never even heard of it.
And I get a
No.
coupon for something. I don't know what.
For nails?
I don't know. It was on that site I went
Okay,
to.
images.
Coffin shaped nails.
I don't see any coffin shaped nails. They're not
Yeah,
coming up.
and the things that look easy are never easy. Have you ever noticed that? Just saying.
No, they don't look coffin shaped. These look like long.
No,
Oh,
they kind of go in and narrow at the toward the tip, but then they're squared across the top.
wait. They go, I don't know. I don't see any that look like a coffin to me. That's weird.
Somebody probably took it.
I believe you. I mean, I'm not saying I don't believe you. I just
And Ginger Locke's problem.
Google it. Coffin
Go
shaped
to
nails.
Victoria's Secret
The
today.
ones that I was looking at when I Googled coffin shaped nails are pretty. Some are too long. I don't like them too long.
Me either.
I don't like nails that are too long.
I have to be able to type.
Well, my thing
Okay,
is,
Jen, love you. I'm calling you in a little bit, so just be
yeah, we'll be around.
or I'm on my way
Be
there.
around.
So whichever.
She did lose it in the ginger snaps. Remember that?
Yeah. Lost it in the ER.
It was just the three of us, wasn't it, on that call? Just you, me, and her. Hello?
What'd you say? I'm sorry. I was reading something.
When she lost it and when she got mad at that nurse.
Oh,
it was just the three of us on that call, and I was like, holy cow, I never heard her.
I am never making that woman mad.
No, and never. She knows her.
And if I do, I'm going to measure off how far I need to be so that I can run and get away from her if I need to. Then I can say something mean and run. No.
We're never mean to her. Love her.
Yeah, no, I have to be able to type and wipe my butt. Just saying.
Well, have you ever seen those women that have the really long, like talon nails that they're like,
and they're trying to count you back change?
An inch and a half long, and they kind of curl.
That's
ugly.
Creepy.
You remember Beth from The Bounty Hunter?
Yes.
Remember her nails? Do you remember her
nails?
She used to have the longest freaking. They were like, I don't know. I could never have done anything like. And she cooked and stuff with that. Like,
but at what point are they deemed claws and or lethal weapons versus nails?
I think the length that she had were pretty long, like too long for me. I could never wear nails that long.
I couldn't either. No, I'd be nuts. I mean, it was pretty broad too. Yeah, ginger locks. Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't the hospital buy you a new one, a new bra?
Right. How do they put on pantyhose? That's a very good question.
She had a really pretty gown in the hospital, didn't she? Remember her gown she had?
She always looks so good in the hospital. She makes me sick.
Oh my God. When she turned her camera on, honestly, the girl was in the hospital for 5 weeks. She turned her camera on and she looked like $1 million. Pissed me off. She never, I mean, she was sick. You could tell she was sick, but she never looked bad.
Right.
Can you imagine me in the hospital?
When I go to the hospital, the morgue shows up. You sure? Don't we need to take this one? No, she's still breathing. That's how I look in the hospital.
I would never go on camera in the hospital. Would you?
Hell no.
And she's been up on my panel when she's been in the hospital.
I know.
I'm like, oh my God, she's so brave. But she always looks good. So, that's what it is.
The diamond strap and thong. I can't do thongs. Ooh.
No, I've never. I always want to pick them out of my butt.
Anal floss. Anal floss.
Have you ever tried to wear them? Like,
yep. Didn't last long.
Do you feel like you have to pick them out of your butt?
All day long, yes.
Yes. It's horrible.
Can't do it.
Remember the girls that used to wear them and they would be sticking out of their pants? I mean, that was the style for a while.
I think it was a secret message to any male.
Yeah, come jump me.
Guess what I've got on? Yeah.
It was the style though for a while. Everybody wore thongs and they stuck out the back of their jeans.
Yep.
That's one fad I never got into. I did buy some, but no.
Oh, and I found also in my quest for crazy things to look for, there's a chick on Facebook. You have to write this down. Liz, Liz Hammett, Hammett. Go look her up on Facebook. She's a public kind of person. You can't like her page or anything like that. That's why I'm saying go there, because she is so freaking funny. I can't stand it. She pranks her mom constantly. And it's kind of like living in my own life, but watching it on Facebook. And there's videos on there of the crap she does to her mom. And there's also the funniest part of it is the texting with her mom. She is hysterical. Y'all have to go look this girl up. She is so funny. And you will get a good Friday, end of the week, hard laugh, which I think we all need. 2 T's
I
at the end.
do. I need a laugh.
HAMMETT. Here,
I've been watching that other one. What's her name? On
here, I'm going to put it in here.
something Chula. Was it Chrissy Chula? Chrissy Chula?
Yes. She
is
is hysterical.
hilarious.
Look her.
My God, you guys need to go there. If you want something that's, not drama, it's just funny.
Oh my God, it's hysterical. On YouTube, it's KRISS, isn't it?
KRISSYCHULA. Chrissy Chula. She's funny.
She's on YouTube.
Yep.
And she does little videos that will have you in stitches.
Yeah.
She's hysterical. She's got one about it being hot as hell. Just
oh my God, that's so
picture
funny.
me sitting there saying everything she's saying, because that's how I get in the summer. And then she's got a couple of them about neighbors.
Oh, her neighbor one is funny.
Oh my God,
hysterical. Chrissy Chula. Yeah,
that's
she,
your
and she has like this serious face, like she's gonna kill her neighbor.
Yeah.
But oh my God, it's funny.
The way she describes her neighbors. Oh my God. She's hysterical. And the sounds that they make. Oh my God. So those are your funny homework assignments for the weekend. The other is to go watch that 1.5 hour long thing. Please do it. Tell your friends to watch it, your family, just for their own information. If they're asking questions like, well, where's the proof? Send them there. Send them to Newsmax. And I like it so far.
There's another guy on YouTube, and I don't remember his name. It came up on my recommendations once. He pranks his girlfriend all the time. Like, he puts stuff like a fake snake in the bathroom, or, he does like all kinds of stuff.
The Southern Mama. Southern Mama is hysterical. You have to explain him, though. It's a dude, okay, and he's got longer hair, like a mullet, kind of. But he portrays a Southern mama. Now, he doesn't do makeup and the whole get. He's got a beard and everything, but he's talking like he's a Southern mama, like he's at the ball field, and you know how they talk to everybody around them. Plus, and they're talking to the people, and they're talking to the kids and correcting everybody else's kid. The whole thing. He is hysterical. Southern Mama. That's on YouTube.
Southern Mama. Oh, I have to look that up.
And I don't know about the one that pranks his girlfriend, but there's a bunch of those, and they're better.
I don't remember his name. It came up in my recommendations.
Like TikTok is way too short for me. Sorry. You only get 10 seconds. So, I got to have more. I'm an American. You can't just take one Tylenol. You got to take 5 because more is better. That kind of thing. Yeah. The girlfriend pranker.
I don't know what he's called, but he pranks his girlfriend. Oh, he's relentless. He's always, she comes into a room, like she looks in the room, and he's always got, he's always doing something to her. It's funny. It is funny. It's good, clean, funny, fun, something to watch when you have nothing else to watch. It's just, but that Chrissy Chula, she's hilarious. I've been watching a lot of that stuff lately. A lot of funny stuff on YouTube. Not all drama.
It's good. It's good. She's in on it, you think? I know there's some of them that you can kind of tell.
She might be. It might be staged, some of it, but it is funny to watch. I watch that stuff when I,
you know what? It's good material that you can use on somebody that doesn't suspect it. That's what I like.
Yeah.
Because I can plan stuff to do to my husband that's just downright evil, and he won't know it's coming. Just saying.
Right.
Start videoing that.
Especially when you're pissed at him.
He would kill me. He'd be like, "You're not going live with that, are you?" No, honey. Of course not.
I would never do that. Never. But I think I'm going to close down. It's what time is it? Oh, it's almost noon. Thank you guys for coming in. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mods. You're awesome.
Thank you, Mods. Yes, you are.
Do your homework this weekend.
Yes, do your homework.
Don't disappoint me.
Watch something that's fun to watch.
Yes. And watch the fun stuff. Watch the
Watch
fun.
the fun stuff.
Let it last all weekend. Laugh hysterically all weekend. It's healthy.
Yeah,
It,
it is
it will
healthy.
help prevent COVID.
Yes, it will. That's
I'm going to have
for
the
sure.
CDC put that out.
But you guys are awesome. Thank you, Joy, for modding. Thank you, all my mods, for modding. I appreciate you so much.
All right.
All right.
Y'all soon.
Okay. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.